Hi, welcome to H&S Roofing and Structures, LLC. I'm Nathan.
And I'm Zach.
So we specialize in roofing, siding, and decks.
And today, in this video, we're going to show you how to install a standing seam roof. Here at H&S, not only do we install standing seam roofing, but this is our machine to roll it out ourselves. So, first step for our standing seam roof would be to paper this. Depending on your system, if you have a zip system or whatever, you wouldn't need to paper it. And so for our demonstration, we're just not going to paper it. So our first step for this is put our drip edge on. So whenever you put your drip edge on, you're going to be even with your side. And this drip edge for the standing seam looks a lot more like a shingle drip edge. And we'll show you once we start putting the metal on why that is. These are the same screws that we're going to use for the roof then, but anything flat will work, just so they're not sticking up. This is even with the bottom, and this is even here, and this comes up to the point where the ridge is, and a ridge cap will go right over top of this. But as you can see, unlike a normal ag panel roof, you put your trims on first because it all slides underneath and then no screws are going to be exposed. That's the whole point of your standing seam roof. So you take your ridge cap here, and you measure from this point here down to here, and then you'll mark that on your roof. And find the point. This should be make sure this is right. Measure that mark down, and that's where this goes. So you measure this vent to fit, and then you just slide it down to your mark and put screws in it, and then your ridge cap will clip over top of this. And this is all vented up in here. So the next thing is to measure for our panels. And so you'll go all the way up in with your tape measure, measure down to this edge, 23 3/4. And so you're gonna add an inch for the top and an inch for the bottom. Because on the top, you're gonna bend it up so no water can get up and down in behind, and the bottom, it's gonna bend down around, and so then it'll crimp onto this. So you'd want it to be 25 3/4, although you don't want it to be tight, so I'd go 25 1/2, quarter inch shorter. And now I'm gonna show you bending down and bending up. So to bend down, take your notcher and shove it up in there as far as it goes, out each side. Take your bender and bend it down around. See, that's why this drip edge comes out like a shingle drip edge and isn't just plopped down, because it's gonna slide up into here and get crimped onto this. And that's how you keep the bottom from no water can get up in there. You bend that over to hide this face. You don't want to see up in there like on the other side. You don't want to see up into here. So now this measurement was 23 3/4, and you want it to be a little short. So we'll go 23 1/2. Mark that there. Mark that there. So it should be what should be left over is 24 1/2, which is what we have. So that'll be an inch that we're bending up. Sometimes it's easier to switch to left-handed snips. but I don't have one on me right now, so I'm gonna have to do it this the difficult way. Take your bender now and do the same as the front, but we're bending it up now. I want it to be this way. So a little caulk in these corners. So no water can get up in, there's no way for it to, and you just take your piece, slide it up in there. All the way up till this is touching. You get it up where it needs to be, you just screw it in on the side. So generally you leave 3 spaces in between, but we don't have that right now.
So for the valley, we got a piece that has open hem, and an upside down V in the center. And you want to have that, slide that into your valley. Make sure you're in at the bottom and in the top. Slide it up where you want it at the top. Take your pencil and mark your drip edge right in the front edge of the drip edge on both sides. So there's our picture, there's our angles of the roof. So then you want to take your square, or if you have anything else that has an inch, around an inch on it, and you want to mark it on the opposite side of your mark that you just had marked. Like that. And then you come over this side and just repeat the step. This mark is where you want to cut it. And that mark, I'll show you what happens with that one. That's where you bend it over your ridge cap. Oh, over your drip edge. Now you don't want to cut your centerpiece off altogether, so just go where that angle is, cut up to that point, and continue up to your first mark that you made. Same thing on this side. Leave this one alone, cut it off, take your snips and go back to the center, the very center of your V, cut up to your mark that you've made right there. So the reason for that is so you can close your end of your valley. So you want to bring that up. And you bent this tab back over that way. Now we're making our bend to hook our valley over the drip edge.
So the next thing we're doing is installing our valley cleats. So you'll measure 2 inches up from the valley up, and you'll snap a chalk line to get it straight. Normally they're longer than this, obviously. You'll put a sticky tape on this, butyl tape is what they call it, on this side, so that way water doesn't come up and behind it, you know, like you do for metal valleys. And so you'll follow your chalk line with this edge, and you'll screw it in. So what this is, this creates your lip on the bottom like this. So you'll bend for your valley and you'll make that an inch longer, and you'll bend that down around and it'll slide up into this. So again, there's no screws even in your valley down here, it's tucked into this. So now we're gonna stick the ridge cap on. So it's gonna slide up over on this one side, and then this side's gonna slide up underneath it. Here, I'll show you. Slides right in there. It's right up in there. Take this piece. Get that in there. So then you need to have this marked where it needs to be. We got some drill holes in it already.
Here we are fastening the ridge cap to the corners. And what we do, we get an 1/8 inch bit and we drill a hole, step 1. This thing's called a pop riveter. And we, like that, and like that, and then this pulls it tight and rips it off. So there's the one corner. Put it in your riveter, down through, against, pull, handle tight.